Strap in, baby dolls. It's going to be one hell of a ride. Welcoming you back to crypto's juiciest news. Ethereum has hit a new record all-time high. 4,900 American dollars. Now, I've got a lot of cracking news coming your way. Ethereum has rocketed right after major loser Powell's tongue-swirling action at Jackson's booty hole. So Ethereum on the monthly chart is absolutely cranking out of nowhere. This monthly candle is now emphatically pushing towards 5,000 American dollars and even higher. And this is how we're going to start crypto's juiciest news today, friends. This is exactly what happened. Out of literally nowhere, it fires off into the stratosphere, plus 13%, charging up towards its all-time high. So it was just proving that the market really was waiting like a powder keg, just ready to explode. It was looking for the tiniest commentary from major loser Powell, anything, anywhere, right? Could it have been a China deal? Could it have been Donald Trump says capital punishment if you don't buy altcoins? Whatever it is, it was going to come from somewhere. The market was ready based off these supply and demand mechanics. I've got a lot of cracker things to go through here with you, friends. The BTC price chart, it's now back in the green for the month. The fifth green monthly candle. Remember, there are danger signs when you hit number 5. So it either stops at number 6 or number 7, and then there's a reset. And even if it does one red candle, traditionally altcoins cop a bit of a beating. But let's not worry about that yet, because maybe this time is going to play out and focus on Ethereum, because Ethereum did 7 green monthly candles in a row in the last cycle and the cycle before that. It's only done 2 right now, 2 in a row. So we got quite a while to go. We all know Bitcoin is Big Daddy, but you never know, man. With a Bitcoin dominance, it's expensive. I'm going to show you a lot of things of what's going on, friends. Ethereum, I'm just going to have to be honest with you, friends. It's still a brown shoe. So the ETH-BTC ratio is now back up to 0.041. And to be honest, it should have never gone below 0.053, okay? Now, should it have never gone below? Well, the business cycle continued being poop. So yeah, it was always going to go there if the business cycle was going to curse us. But it feels like it's racist, anti-Semitic, transphobic, and bigoted for ETH-BTC to be below 0.055. I mean, Wall Street and all governments, they love stablecoins. Ethereum has 55% of the world's stablecoins. It is home of smart contracts. Why would an Ethereum spot ETF be a freaking sell signal for this? Well, this is how the universe goes, friends. We just had to rinse out a lot of weak hands. You had to do some scamming insider junk from Rocketnig or whoever it was that tried to curse us all the way down. But now that's all behind us for now. Remember, BTC and crypto all together, friends, it adds up now. It's ticking at 4 trillion American dollars, okay? We're hoping it goes to 10. Now, why 10? It's just a nice round number, and it's actually the highest fib. It's the highest Fibonacci here, extension from the previous cycle. So we have a long way to grow, right? Maybe time-wise, we start going exponentially parabolic. Remember, though, at the final innings of the crypto cycle, there's always a parabolic price move because it's an extension of the economy. It's an extension of confidence. When people are the most confident, they come in, they buy altcoins, which always tricks a lot of people. That's why we keep going parabolic. We keep going euphoric at the very, very end. Hopefully, it does continue again because everyone's waiting for this, this amazing time. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. It continues to tick down. It is 58%. Ben Copen is still calling for a 75% Bitcoin dominance. Everybody else is still calling for Ethereum to get wrecked. Everybody is still now saying, for example, the goalposts have now moved as we expected now, friends. And I think Copen and others, they basically think Ethereum, they said, okay, now that you're at nearly 5,000 instead of 500, so that was wrong. Now they're saying, oh, no, Ethereum, you're going to poke above your high soon, and then all the money's going to come back to Bitcoin again. So what we'll probably see, friends, this is what happens. Okay, we might see, Ethereum constantly get faded and faded and faded and faded until actually it's ready to be done. and we'll see some sort of like major capitulation. I don't know what it's going to be. It could be something's going to shock us. You never know, friends. We never know. Look, I know it's going to sound wild, but like, just think about this, friends. Imagine Michael Chad Saylor in MicroStrategy. They make another division at the end and they buy Ethereum. You know, imagine they form another company thing. They form another structure so they can raise money and buy ETH. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that's going to happen. Some people say, oh, preposterous. Oh, preposterous. Yeah, bro. You were saying it was preposterous. Ethereum would ever go above $2,000 again, by the way. You know what I mean? So as far as... You can't listen to these people, friends. You understand? People do wacky shit when there's big, fat green candles, okay? You've seen drunk people at the club. Okay, people do a lot of wacky stuff, friends, when they're intoxicated. In markets, friends, this dopamine hit is the most grandeur form of drugs in your body, okay? Because there's no stopping point. It just keeps going and going. It just like infiltrates you every single day. There's no process where you like take something or drink something and changes your chemical reactions. You're watching digital candles flip up and down on a freaking screen. You know what I mean? And then the crowd of people react. Oh, that's a green candle. It's just, you know what I mean? It's something special. That's why we've got to keep an open mind as to what happens. I'm going to show you some blockchain backup fractals, friends. Remember, Bitcoin dominance, we've got a long way to go. Just to show you, friends, like in March 2024, okay, pretty much here, where like the top of the last mini alt season thing trash was, Bitcoin dominance was 52%, right? It was 52%. So that's something to think about. We're still 58. Like and a lot of people say, oh, you know, it's painful. It's painful. Yeah, I know it's painful, but like, you don't have to worry, man. You don't have to worry if you are watching like just one of my highest value content in crypto shows. Over 5,555 plus videos here for you. Thank you for liking and subscribing. You've got to worry if you're in MicroStrategy. You've got to worry if you are still sexually confused, going out to Twink Nation, hooking up with dudes, and still pretending like you're straight. Okay, you're just holding stock treasury companies. You got to worry if you're Bitcoin maxi positioned. Okay, and you need to retire in the next 4 years. You do have to worry. Okay, because pretty much the market's about to literally slap you on the bum and ask you to apologize for wasting its time. That's what it's about to do. We've got to unwind all those weak companies, friends. Like, you understand, these people, friends, they're green candle chasers. Okay, that's it. Even my favorite uncle, Bobby, okay, he literally said, institutions are just retailers with deeper pockets. It was literally his quote. Yes, I've been telling you this for many, many years. I know, but you don't believe it because they come out and they say, they've got, friends, you check they go on stage, okay? They've got a suit and tie. They're wearing pants, but my pants, they've got piss stains. Their pants, nice cut pockets. They've got the nice brown belt and the buckle. They've got a blue checkered shirt, and they've got the laser pointer on the screen. And they go, it's basically, they spend 3 hours saying, this thing that's been going up for multiple years, I have now bought it with my institution, and I think it will keep going up. That's basically it. They just say that in 3 hours of like words up and down, left and right, and everyone goes, ooh, and ah, wow, that's amazing. I don't believe him, though. I don't believe him. I don't believe your enthusiasm for cheering a green candle is tested yet. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe you are a Bitcoin maxi. You know what? You're going to have to prove it to me, but that's what I say. You're going to have to prove it to me. Yeah? That's what you're going to have to do. So this is the Bitcoin Treasuries website, friends. Remember, there is already a company, Empery. They are trading below fair value. Okay? They're trading at 0.75 MNAV, which means Bitcoin on their balance sheet is $84,000. Market doesn't care. This is MicroStrategy, friends. Its NAV still 1.371. Now, why it's important, it's just to show you, look, friends, if we see Ethereum shoot up and altcoins rise and the Bitcoin treasury navs go down, okay, history's repeating. It's rhyming all over again. What do I mean by that? The business cycle's ticking up, and because the business cycle ticks up, people leave Bitcoin, which is risk off, yeah, and then they're venturing out the risk curve. As they get more confident in the economy, They're leaving everything Bitcoin related. So like, friends, I tried to warn them. I mean, I've tried to warn them, and there's still time. I don't know what we can do now. I mean, friends, Willy Woo sold he sold all of his Bitcoin to invest in Bitcoin mining infrastructure. Like, you can't have made a worse decision. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're about to get bonked. So, you know, God bless him. I mean, like, it is what it is, right? Because this is it, friends. You know, market's going to humble you, and it is what it is. Now, I want to quickly show you this, friends. So, what's actually happened, right? You don't even need to look at, friends, you don't need to look at Jackson's booty hole, Major Loser Powell, and what he did there. Very non-family friendly acts, mind you. This is just the Russell 2000. The racist Russell 2000, okay, he still doesn't have any white friends, okay? But he is racist. So he is smacking through. This is the Fibonacci retracement, and he's just popped up here. Now, remember, crypto, we follow these like, you know, the small cap risky stuff indexes of stock market most of the time as well, just directionally, but not the size of the move, okay? If we follow the size of the move, of course, we'd never move anywhere, right? But that's why we're in crypto. It's not one for one. That's the risk we take, right? But when it does move, like we're hoping, you know, if the Russell 2000 can move 10%, we hope that your crypto is moving like 80% compounded per year or whatever, right? So the Russell 2000 has reacted positively. It's US small cap poop coins. And it's a sign that the economy is really ready to move into the next phase, okay? Also, I've got to remind you, there was PMI that came out yesterday, but there's a distinction, friends. It was flash PMI, okay? This is US manufacturing PMI. You can use either or. It's just this one I chart, okay? The flash manufacturing PMI, I think it has a global one in it. I think it's got the global ones all together, but it's just a higher baseline. So this one is just the one I've charted, okay? This is the actual PMI, US manufacturing PMI. This one is coming out September 3rd, but remember, it's backwards looking. So because the Russell's moving up and the Dow Jones is moving up and Ethereum's starting to move up, you can pretty much guess that the business ISM, when it comes out, it's not going to come out at 48 or 49. Like, it might have an enormous, huge spike. It might spike up to like 52. It might actually start it right there, and it'll be backwards looking. But like when it comes out September 3rd, maybe Ethereum's like 5,500 or 5,800. And then, so you say, what does it really tell you? It doesn't tell you much. It tells you, oh, things are good. And you're like, yeah, oh, wow, I couldn't tell. No shit, Sherlock. It's actually cranking through the all-time highs. Do you know what I mean? It was very, very obvious. So, but contextually, it's important just to know what we're actually doing here. Remember, I've got it written here for you, friends. Sommi's guiding fart forces of crypto. Bitcoin follows global M2, and then altcoins follow the business cycle. See, friends, Bitcoiners, right? But all Bitcoin maxis, they'll always try to psyop you. And they say, no, we follow the business cycle too. No, you don't. You don't want to, by the way. If you follow the business cycle, you're just an altcoin. But see, it's just, like, it's hard for them to admit. Okay, it's the truth is, okay, they got into Bitcoin because it did 100x. Okay? Now you're trying to convince people your plus 18% move is exciting. You know what I mean? They can't retire off that. You know they can't. Okay, so that's why altcoins are always going to have their infrastructure plays and stuff out here. That's also why, friends, as we move on up, Bitcoin mining and MicroStrategy and stuff, they're not going to have any demand. Okay, because they're trying to wrap themselves around the Bitcoin logo. Friends, it would be like, imagine Tesla was charted next to, say, a gold miner. You know what I mean? Like the gold miner, you search gold. Okay, but if the economy's risk on, no one cares about gold. Everything's fine. Inflation's under control. Do you know what I mean? If the economy's doing well, Tesla's more like growth, tech, and all this other stuff. It doesn't matter what type of like wrapper they use around gold. It's boring. You know what I mean? You're digging rocks out of the ground. That's exactly when it comes to Bitcoin and moving along the business cycle, right? So obviously Bitcoin is very safe when the business cycle gets crushed, but it's been crushed for so long. All these people, like, you know, basically they got rocks in their head too. Basically, they think that it's going to last forever, which absolutely it won't. Now I'm going to show you the PulseChain price chart here, friends. So we had actually interesting PulseChain prices. I'll just give you the 24-hour reading. We have everything up 8 to 10%. The biggest move is pDAI up 20%, and then PWBTC, the People's Bitcoin, at 14%. I've made, friends, I know I make a lot of videos. And they're high value content. The highest value content. If you want to learn Like, I'm not gonna shut up just because like someone's bored or they can't get it. You can go suck a fat one, dude. This is the first cycle unicorn. Dude, I've been training my whole life for this moment. I'm not gonna shut my mouth because you're so much of a retardio. The first 18 videos couldn't basically get through your head, and you need to see another 15x rally for you to finally get something. You know, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. For example, if you're buying Bitcoin at $100, it's not your fault. Somebody needs to see it at 100,000 before they finally go, oh, maybe this thing's actually worth something. Maybe it's not going to zero. If you're one of those people, you're going to make it. Okay, so this is extremely high alpha. There is my mega alpha video, PulseChain pDAI, the hidden layer 2 secret trick, and Richard Hart's speech video here. Another PulseChain adder. It's literally Richard Hart 4 years ago. I could smell it like it was yesterday. He literally told us what he was going to do. It's in his speech. He talks about encapsulated stakes. He talks about, oh yeah, if you just do another chain, you just put in a bit of the work and you can get all this to happen. There's no sell thing. So, you know, if people want to go, oh, you know how lucky you are, dude. I literally put all of it in just 2 little 30-minute videos. Friends, we literally, man, my balls, I had to grab them after pDAI went to zero for the second time just to make sure they were there. Because I was looking at them from afar, and I thought, man, like, they feel like sultanas, but I'm looking at them, there's just nothing there. It was nothing there, friends, you know. One day, hopefully, you got some Pokeballs, but that's what it felt like at the bottom, and you're like, oh, man, if we're wrong, you know what I mean? Like, the market's gone down to zero, so, like, you know. But we held on, and here we are. Now, actually, I just want to quickly show you the PulseChain price before we go and move on to booty hole news. PulseChain itself, friends, Richard Hart's been bull tweeting and stuff out here. This is the PulseChain. We're still below sack price. PLS, friends, needs to do 7x, and we're around break even. We need to do 7.5x, and we're break even against Bitcoin from 4 years ago. So basically, you're selling at a loss if you are selling under 4x sack price. Just to let you know, you're selling at a Bitcoin value loss. Now, if you're going off Ethereum, you need about a 3x, I think, move from here. Maybe more. I think you need I think it's 4.5x. Sorry, so it's plus 350% moves. So there you go. If you are selling, so let's just go off Ethereum value, right? Because we're bullish on Ethereum long term, ETH-BTC. So if you are selling your Pulse under 2.5x sack price, you're taking a loss. Yeah, you're taking like a big loss actually. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. You're losing Ethereum value, because when we did the sacrifice, Ethereum was 1,800, and you got in at day one sack price. Now we're 50% below that, and Ethereum's not 1,800 anymore. Ethereum is up to literally pretty much 5,000, 4,900. So that's represented by the Pulse ETH ratio. Okay, so we'll cover more on that later. So let's go and check it out, friends. So of course, Ethereum makes a new record high, reaching above 4,880. Which is obviously cracker news. Now, Soylana, friends, continues to bleed. Soy-ETH ratio ticks down again as Ethereum continues to pretty much, I guess, show, hey, what's going to happen in that next phase. There's a lot of trench stuff happening, friends. You had, Kanye West, after talking to us about Jews for about 8 years, comes out and rugs his coin in 35 minutes, which is, friends, I'm still laughing to this day, but did we just see that? But for 8 years, you've been yelling about Jews. You know what I mean? Like, you rug the coin in 35 minutes. By the way, do you know how sneaky they are? Just to tell you. Do you know these celebrities, Kanye included, okay, Kanye, just to let you know, okay, they don't post their meme junk to their Instagram because that's where their, like, real friends are. Okay, in crypto, we're not cool enough for them. We're just like a degenerate casino. And like, yeah, it's funny. You're listening to a man dressed up like an astronaut right now, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? So I don't blame you for thinking like that. But that's what I want you to think. They don't respect anyone here. But yeah, it's a natural conclusion when they're just launching junk, and then you have LA Vape Cabal and Soylana guys going, oh, faster transactions. We got all the adoption. Come here. Subscribe to Orange's Potion Discord. You're definitely going to make money. You know what I mean? Well, you don't blame them for coming to this conclusion that everybody's just a bunch of degenerates and willing to throw money at anything, because they have been throwing money at anything. But the money's running out. Okay, you can see it by the Soy-ETH ratio going down, which is, friends, like, you won the game, guys. You've been running up. It's actually almost 2 years. You had 1.75 years of running up. right? It's not going to go like just go to zero or anything. It's just, I think it's going to do what the DeFi, if you want to see what's the future of Soylana, friends, I'll show you. They will do what ChainLink did in the last cycle, similar to this. So in the last cycle, this is the thing, right? So ChainLink peaks in DeFi season here. And if you see this, you think this looks like a good chart. You go, oh, wow, it breaks its high by another 2.5x. You think that's an amazing chart. This is a fake chart, okay? ChainLink's real chart was the link ETH ratio. So this was ChainLink in 2020, and this was its other peak. I'll show you now. Here is the red chart to show you what I just showed you. So look at this, friends. So this is ChainLink hitting the $20 mark here, the red line, and then it goes up to 50 here. But look at the ratio. The ratio just keeps going down and down. And by the time ChainLink peaks, the ratio is down 65%. Now, I'm not saying SOL-ETH is just going to go down and do that. I don't know. But I'm just showing you this pretty much what happens. So you get dragged up by the main indices, which it looks like a rescue package if you're just charting in USD. But ultimately, it just shows you the ratios, man. This is what happens. And like, by the way, if once again, friends, like, does this ring any bells? ChainLink ran up only. It started the run from August 2018, and look at that. It ran up for 731 days. That is spookily similar to SOL-ETH running up for around 700 days as well, which I'll show you now. Do you see? You see this? It ran up. Man, this is a very, very, very long time. See this? 574 days. See what I mean? When these things run for a very, very long time, people think they win the game harder. But you know, in markets, man, no, things become expensive. That's why markets are tough, right? Because everyone says, oh, stop trying to fade the crowd. Stop trying to do this. Just join the train. Join the train. We'll see, man. Also, please just remind yourself for this, friends, while I play some Cranky G music. Remember, friends, I don't care about any other chat. I want everything you win, okay? I'm just showing you this to teach, okay? It's friendship here. I'm showing you to teach. Notice how all the KOLs, the biggest KOLs, were pooping on Ethereum. They stopped their podcast because of Ethereum, okay? They were pooping on it, and they went and they celebrated soy and their love of soy, okay? They love putting soy everywhere. They have soy lattes out the yin-yang, okay? And they kept saying, Ethereum's dead. Stop fading the trend. Soylana's got the adoption. Ethereum has lost. Soylana, it's the future. All the tech. They kept saying that. But now, the price action is going the other way. You know how they declared Ethereum dead and soy was the winner? Okay, just notice, friends. Are any of them saying, uh-oh, the SOL-ETH ratio is going down. I better take my loss now, fall on my sword, and then change my mind? Are they going to do that? No. No, they're not going to do that. Friends, it's an emotional cycle. They don't want to do that. They spent so long saying this thing is the future. They're not willing to give this up in like 30 days. Okay? That's why you might have an ETF complacency thing, and then they give up. They eventually capitulate later on, and they realize that it's just cycles repeating all over again, right? So, friends, if you come in thinking everyone knows their stuff all the time, you're not going to make it. Because I'll just tell you, they're just celebrating the green candle. That's all they were doing, okay? And just like everybody talking poop about something, they're painfully looking at the red ones. So as we've seen here, friends, actually, I've got some more news. So Andrew Kang, $100 million net worth dude, don't know how he's got it, some investing thing. He's blocked me, okay? So why did he block me? I'll probably cover it for you again, but he blocked me because he called for Ethereum to go down to 3,200, and I replied under him saying he's a bottom signal normally, and he really is, friends. He is Jim Cramer for crypto. He's one of the Jim Cramer James Wynn guys. He's just like notoriously wrong, and because Ethereum went and broke the high, he got liquidated. I think when I showed his position, he was down 1.2 million, and Ethereum was like 3,800 or something. So you know what I mean? So or 4,000. So he was, already offside a couple of million. So this one must have blown him to pieces. I think he's like totally liquidated now. Look at this, just big fat 15% candle in your face. Actually comes back and break the all-time highs. So yeah, this is what happens. There's a lot of battling of egos and stuff. I don't come and make these calls and stuff. Oh, this thing's definitely going up. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, a whole shit that goes to zero. So clearly, I don't know what the hell's going on, do I? Okay, I just tell you, guess what? I got 2 nipples. I got 2 pegs. I'm holding. You can do what you want. By the way, that's actually, if you look, friends, that's how the best investors win. It's not this this thing's definitely going up, definitely going down. That's like this, you see these like 1 in 1,000 bets that maybe make it public for that. Most people were just like, well, this is a good long. Doesn't mean it goes up. It just means this is a good long. Okay, I know my downside, and if you know, if it flip heads, then I got 10x upside. If it flips tails, I lose my 1. You see, you're looking for good bets. Doesn't mean you know what the future is. Just like, friends, you say if imagine you went to a park of people and everyone's flipping coins and they want to gamble. You want to find the guy who says, okay, if it's heads, you win $10, but if it's tails, you only have to pay me $1. You're trying to find that game, but everybody's flipping coins. You don't know if it's going to be heads or tails. You have no idea. People think, oh, it's definitely going to be heads on this one. You don't know that. Okay, you're looking for good bets. That's what it comes down to. And by the way, taking a short on Ethereum when it was literally 6 times rejected in the past is a terrible short, dude. Terrible. I don't care who you... Bro, 6 times. It's now on occasion number 7th, and you're calling for doom. You're like, yep, the 7th one's going to come. Like, just... That was a terrible bet, no matter how many times you spin it. Cracking on, friends. So major loser Powell delivers a dovish speech at Jackson's booty hole, confirming rate cuts are now coming for the market. So there was a key note. So major loser Powell, he says, our policy rate is now 100 basis points closer to neutral than it was a year ago. So I checked the CME FedWatch tool. Basically, the market's now pricing in, same thing as before, right? Around 3 cuts by the end of the year, 2 to 3 cuts. Okay, so we're at 4.5% for US now. It's pricing in as about a 50-50 chance whether it's 3.75 or 4.0 by December's decision. Okay, 3 decisions. If you move on to next year, by March next year, it's about 75 basis points to 100 basis points. Okay, it's 50-50 between them. That's pretty much the market distribution is around that. So that's pretty much the market's pricing in, I guess, by next year, March, instead of 4.5%, the rates are 3.5. Okay, so you never know how that's going to play out, right? You know, we might find, I'll bring up others' BTC chart. It's always possible, as, you know, we're running into March next year. But maybe we go up, have like a little sideways that pop up. And maybe, friends, because the rates are 3.5, but everything's beaming. Like, we hope we get this big trap, right? And there's all the classic top signals. We hope that everyone is still holding on because they say, hey, rates are still 3.5. And they said they're going to cut another 1 basis point again next year. But if the market's really expensive, it'll be us to say, hey, man, the market's euphoric. The first rate cuts are stimulatory, but maybe the next wave of cuts are going to be because the economy's turning. Okay, they also Jay Powell in his comments, he said, oh, we're worried about job numbers now, you know? So, yeah, it's just they say whatever needs to get the job done. Now, Ethereum, friends, continues to be deeply contrarian, as most crypto KOLs focus on leveraged long Bitcoin and Soylana. It's very true. I've also got data I'll cover for you later, friends, just to tell you, I'll give you all the juiciest information. The daily number of traders in Soylana trenches, you know, there's the scum erotic trenches there, where they like basically just got Orange's foot in their mouth going, yes, keep clicking, you'll develop the skill to keep clicking. Okay, so the daily number of traders, it's down 75% since December, right? So they used to have like, I think they peaked at 480,000 daily people. Now it's down to about 130,000. So literally it's gone down big time. But that makes sense, right? Everybody came and bought the top of the meme coin stuff, and then, you know, it ended with Trump's meme coin. And yeah, friends, look, we all know, look, everyone says, oh, but crypto is just a big casino. Sit down. Firstly, I told you that many years ago. Crypto's a big casino. But you're not using my saying in the context I said to you when I first told you, okay? Yeah, crypto's a big casino. So to win, you have to go to the area of the casino where people still think they can make money. Yeah? Everyone knows it's a casino. But the crowd is still going to choose different machines and different games to play. And when they lose in one area, they don't want to go there. Yeah? It's like you go into a little private blackjack room, but someone in there ate Mexican 3 nights in a row, and now he's just ripping very, very dirty, sweaty, smelly, hot farts the ones that just pierce your nostrils straight away, the egg farts. You know the rotten egg farts, friends? Yeah, if you're in a little room, that's Soylana trenches, by the way. Everyone's going in there and they're saying it stinks. Okay? They want to stay in the casino. You know what I mean? But maybe they're just going to go to a different room. And maybe they don't want to play blackjack. Maybe they go play another game they go lose their money on. Okay? Just it feels better there. You see what I mean? So here's the thing. Everyone pretends to know when they know what the next game is going to be. We don't know. No one knows what the next game is going to be. Okay? But if you're even in that mindset, it doesn't matter. Right? That's why maybe owning PulseX or owning long-term vision stuff like PulseChain, you're basically, you're owning a whole casino. You're like saying, I don't know when retail is going to come or if or whatever. I just believe at some point they'll wake up. Okay? That's actually how you win in all stuff, by the way, friends. So also, Rocketnig is now the biggest, largest Bitcoin custodian. So I guess it is true, right? Bitcoin maxis did sell their souls. Here we are today. What I'm going to do now, friends, as well, I'm going to quickly show you some blockchain backer fractals. We're still in the same area. The Russell 2000 has poked up, showing the business cycle is probably it's ticking up, and the Dow Jones ticked through the all-time high, business cycle ticking up. This is showing you what happened last year. We had the Russell 2000 going up, and then crypto just started going up at immediately the same time. We actually had a business cycle. Business ISM actually ticked up in this month as well. And then obviously that was just a fake out. A slight tick up. This is Ethereum's price chart. Hopefully, we're in this zone now where we're doing a little bull flaggy, 4,900, and then we just go to the up only part, which is Ethereum. Hopefully, $7,000 to $10,000. I hope it's 13. Remember, I told you just some cool notes, friends. Crypto banter. So Randy Boo, because he's Max Long Soy, right? I noticed he was talking to Arthur Gaze. Okay, our favorite gay bear is now bullish. Now, when he was talking to Arthur Hayes. When Randy Boo was talking about his like moon boy price targets for Ethereum, like the high ones, the numbers he was talking about, he goes, Ethereum, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Yeah, those were his moon boy targets. Ian Bellina as well, some interesting, rarely comes out. He thinks, oh, Ethereum max 8,000. That's like the max would go. He calls 10 way too moon boyish. Okay, I found that very interesting because I was like almost worried. I'm like, oh crap, are these big guys gonna come out? Are they feeling super bullish about it? No, they're not. So see, it's kind of funny. We've come here now. Ethereum hitting 10,000 is contrarian. I did not think it was gonna come like that because the freaking thing's cursed, right? This is also what's been leading, friends. Binance BNB coin has been absolutely rocketing. It's up to $900. Binance, friends, is I guess it's a family-friendly altcoin, just like Chainlink, but it's family-friendly for TradFi boomers who like Johnson & Johnson baby bum powder stock and stuff out here as well because they do, the buy and burn stuff out here. We also have Bitcoin dominance from blockchain backup. Well, hopefully we go down to around this. This is still a trash number. This is around 50%. I'm hoping we get Altseason Wave 1. Everyone thinks it's over. And then Altseason Wave 2 comes out and shocks everyone. I really hope something like that happens. And if it doesn't happen, okay, well, so be it. You know what I mean? So be it. I want to show you just... I like looking at just like other big KOLs, fans who have millions of followers, what they think about what's going to happen. So Ben Copen says, after Ethereum puts a new all-time high, we will likely witness a massive rotation back into Bitcoin. However, the rotation will be initiated by a Bitcoin correction in September and will continue into a Bitcoin rally in October. So that's actually what's happened before. But you never know with these, man. Look, I'm way too scared. This Bitcoin dominance, fans, I'm telling you, I'm just way. Fans, I hope you remember when this thing finally one day, one decade, one century is playing out. I hope you really, truly appreciate how everyone's euphoric over Bitcoin and I'm just like shaking. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this Bitcoin dominance is dangerously trapping all these companies. Like it's so dangerous, friends. I've had like these future visions where like I have to start bull posting Bitcoin because it's been thrashed that much. Yeah, I'm not joking. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to get to a point where you and me are going to have to dunk some in to rescue this thing. Like, it's metaphorically, but that's what I think is going to get to. That's how bad this slingshot has gone the other way, man. So that's the story for another time. SharpLink have approved the $1.5 billion stock purchase program. So they are going to keep purchasing Ethereum. They're just a MicroStrategy of ETH. Here you have Van Eck fans. Oh, by the way, as well, some people say, oh, Sommi, one of you asked me, hey, could Sharpstick get into hot water just like Michael Saylor? Here's the thing. Yeah, of course. The thing, though, is Sharpstick's borrowing thing, they're not doing the turbo leverage part. Do you want to know why? Because no one will give it to them because you're Ethereum. Yeah, they only give that stuff to the Bitcoin stuff. They only give that, you know what I mean? It's like what I'm basically saying is they've given a water pistol because it's Ethereum. They'll give a water pistol to Ethereum, but Michael Saylor, they'll give him acid and a rocket launcher. You know what I mean? They go, oh, because you're Bitcoin, you're amazing. So like, since he has no off button, he's going to probably hurt himself more. Van Eck has filed for a spot Soylana ETF. Maybe that's going to be like the little tiny complacency rally high for SOL-ETH. No one's going to get out on it because they're all going to think, now it's just getting started, right? And then, yeah, that's what happens, man. It prices into the future. SBI from Japan has invested $50 million in Circle to establish a joint venture to push USDC in Japan. So, friends, all these stablecoin companies, everyone out there in the world, it's literally a stablecoin battle, right? And remember, the king of the stablecoins, pDAI, yeah? Ping pong coin, outside of the evil genius regulation. I'm telling you now, man. I'm telling you. Look, here's the thing, man. This is the funniest part. Friends, you gotta understand, okay? I've been in markets for a long time, all right? Do you understand, friends? I have no ego in this game, okay? This coin doesn't need me. Do you get it? Friends, I could FUD the shit out of this coin every day. It doesn't need me, dude. It'll never need me, okay? It's going to do whatever it's destined to do, yeah? And by the way, it doesn't need you and your money either. It doesn't need you shitty. What do you have, $1 million even? Even if you're clipping $1 million, it doesn't need you, dude. And by the way, you need way, way, way more. Do you understand? Network effects are bigger than that. Way bigger than that, okay? You can't stop this story. So, look, one day you'll know. One day you'll know. I know most of you already know, you know, but some people, they need to see, like, you are, friends, you are Jesus's apostle Thomas, okay? So Thomas, friends, he was the apostle. So after Jesus resurrected, okay, Thomas, so Jesus was walking around, okay? He was walking around and skateboarding, hanging around, and he basically visited Thomas, okay? So other Jesus' disciples believed, yeah. But Thomas, he didn't believe what he was seeing. So Jesus opened up, he showed him, he put aside his robe or whatever, and then Thomas got his finger and he touched Jesus's wound. And then he had the shock. It's so shocking, right? So, yeah, some of you, you're basically Thomas. You literally need to put your, you need to actually see the biggest, fattest green candle of pDAI. You're like, you need to see it at like 30 cents, right? You're like, but actually not even then. Some people actually, fans, yeah, there'll be people, they literally just need to see it at $1. They want to see someone actually click out and bridge out for $1, even if it's just $100. Do you know what I mean? So that's the stem, you know, and it's just a matter of, you know, and faith and belief when it comes to these. And by the way, yeah, you can have faith in stuff that doesn't work out. You know, we've got plenty of examples of that in crypto, but it's interesting. Because it survived going to zero twice. Pretty much like a resurrection. Nice metaphors. Trump's firm, World Liberty Financial, has bought an extra $5 million of Ethereum. So, friends, I don't know how to make this even more obvious. The US president is literally buying now ETH only using his proxy firm, World Liberty Financial. Okay? So you might say, oh, but Sommi, it's not him. So people think that it's, because it's not Donald Trump with his little Trezor hardware wallet keying in and like confirming his sign and using MetaMask to buy in, that doesn't count. No, dude, you understand. Trump's got a niece and she's got a boyfriend. The boyfriend's got a dad. The dad's got a dog. The dog is having sex with another dog in the park. Okay, that dog's got an owner. The owner goes to the library. The librarian, right? The librarian knows Trump's financial advisor team. And the financial advisor team has got Trump's phone number. Yeah? So you follow all that line, and then the financial advisor team is told by Trump, is like, I like the Ethereum. That's it. They make a phone call, goes to the librarian, goes all the way back out. The dog's having sex with the dog in the park, right? They yap at each other, and then the other dogs, or dog whisperer. I'm a bit of a dog whisperer myself too. So the dog whisperer goes and fails the trade on the family line, goes all the way back to Denise. Do you know what I mean? And there we have it in the market. That's pretty much how it happens, friends. Okay, there's just nothing on paper. Okay, that's why. But when I see it, it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, Sommi, if you just replaced $5 million of Soylana with Ethereum, they would all get it in 2 seconds. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I give this person time? Could have been having some orange juice. The massive 80,000 BTC Whale also has a degen trading account on Hyperliquid. So there's been an 80,000 BTC swap from Bitcoin, I think, into Ethereum or USDC, billions of dollars moved. I think this big whale made the ETH-BTC low. So it pushed it from like 0.002 to 0.03 or something, right? And it's funny, he sent 300 Bitcoins. Kind of funny. If this is Richard or anybody else, man, like this is the funniest part. Fans, his degen lottery ticket dog shit Bitcoin stash, it's 300 Bitcoin. That he sent it into Hyperliquid. He sold half of the 300 BTC into ETH. Now he's got 50-50. And then he's put on a degen leverage long. And he's up $84 million. Isn't it, friends? It's just fun. Dude, these people, friends, they're like literally living life in Grand Theft Auto when you have infinite money. I remember when I had infinite money. When I put the infinite money, the game is all killed. Have you ever done that in a video game? It's probably a good like anagram for life. Metaphor for life. Allegory as well. I remember I played games, you play 70 to 80 hours, yeah? And I remember like even Final Fantasy and stuff. I finished the whole game, and then many years later, I'll hear about some infinite money glitch, and I'll go do it, and I'll duplicate it. I remember Dark Souls, getting infinite souls. I'll promise you, when you get the infinite money, it's at the, I never play the game again. Yeah, I never play it again. And I'm just thinking, wait a minute, is that what happens when you have infinite money in real life? Everything's just freaking boring, friends. It's a chore to do stuff. Like you go to the shops and you just buy anything of everything. You're like, this is shit. Nothing entertains you. Like you just don't have any meaning anymore. It's happened so many times with games. So this guy's throwing 300 Bitcoin like it's water, man. It's just, that's why I guess you just got to make bigger goals and bigger dreams. Grayscale have filed for an XRP spot ETF. Hopefully they get it. Because, friends, I really would love to see that crypto index, and you do as well. Okay, we'd love to see if they can finally, because I think they have to get all the futures and ETFs approved, bang, and then maybe they will eventually list an index. But remember, there's no word of anything on that now, but we'll see. Now, where are we going from here? It's beautiful that Ethereum has done a thrust up to 4,900. It could still bull flag and stuff out here. It can, friends. But what I'll do now, I'll just show you. Once again, right, if you remember drawing the fib from the top to the bottom, drawing the fib, the next level is 7,200, okay? No one knows what we're going to do from here. It's almost like we're programmed here, right? Is it over, right? Really over? Or is it going to be a fake out and then continue the dream? We don't know, okay? The good thing is, hopefully by that time, Ethereum 7,200, our altcoins have done well enough, your DCA bullets and stuff out here, but yeah, just to remind you as well, with PulseChain stuff, Richard Hart binks it at the very end. So he gives you the highest pump, the most amount of FOMO, and the marketing is most effective because they have all these trenched people who have not retired yet. So because you got to remember, they've been reading the whole bull market about this guy made 5 million. Crypto's up 30 million in his leverage long. This guy turned 10 grand into, 14 million. They're hearing all these stories, but it hasn't happened to them. And then finally have the maximum amount of desperate ones. That's why he likes to put it at the end. You have the maximum amount of buyers because it's literally not, everything else is pumped already, right? And now your thing is actually going and like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is my thing. This is my chance for the bull market, right? So maybe it does repeat like that again, right? That's what we're pretty much banking on. But yeah, none of this is financial advice. We're lucky this works at all. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.